morning, and thank you so much for tuning in to your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here each and every day, and we're really excited that this is the first hour-long episode of your Saturday Wasatch Weekends. Now, we are making some expansions, so we will be here every Monday from here on out to help you kick off the beginning of each and every week. I'm your host, Maddie Evans, and I love getting to spend some time chatting about our absolutely incredible community. Now, some wonderful things that have been announced. Park Silly is making its way back for this summer season, which we cannot wait because this is my favorite time to get out, enjoy Park City Main Street, and shop with some incredible local vendors. We also just heard that Sundance has made its announcement for the upcoming dates, so you can go to their website for some more information. Now, we've got a great show in store for you for the first official hour of Wasatch Weekends. Not only are we going to be doing some delicious grilling, but we're also going to introduce you to Nuzzles and Co to help you find your forever friend, and Bill Humbert, a wonderful talent attraction recruiter. So you're going to want to stay tuned for the next hour. We're going to take a look at that local weather forecast though right now.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Now that we're starting to see those warmer temperatures, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling ready to break out the grill. And a great way to do so, especially if you want to learn more about using the grill, is to see Tracy Miller with Colorful Cooking. She does such a good job of explaining things and teaching you, as well as helping you make these delicious, healthy, and incredible recipes. And so we're going to do some grilling out on the patio with her, and she's going to teach us how to properly cook some delicious chicken wings. So let's take a look at getting out there on the grill.
Drying off my veggies because I did wash them, and I'm going to make a really nice salad today. And if you have a lot of moisture in your salad, then it's going to make the salad dressing and the lettuce kind of get a little bit too wet. So you don't want that. You don't want that last piece of salad bite just to be water. That would be gross, right? So today we are making chicken drumsticks, and we're going out on the grill to do that, and we're going to buffalo style them and then make a salad that is going to be a buffalo style salad as well. So it's like buffalo chicken, but a little bit healthier, and it's something that you can cook outside and have a cool green salad with. So what we have for ingredients today: great green salad, romaine, carrots, celery, green onions, and cucumbers. We've got the chicken legs that we're going to be using today. We have some Frank's hot sauce, and then some blue cheese because we're going to be making a blue cheese dressing to go with our buffalo chicken salad. So first things first, we need to head out to the grill. Grilling is one of my favorite ways to cook. Actually, I love cooking meat, veggies, fruit, everything on the grill. First of all, because you get to be outside, but also it's a pretty healthy way to cook because typically you are not using a lot of oil or a lot of sauces or anything like that. So let's head out to the grill with your chicken thighs, and I'll show you exactly how to prep them and exactly how to cook those. They take about 35 minutes to reach an internal temperature of 185, and they are bone-in chicken legs. So there's a little trick to cooking with bone-in. We'll see you at the grill. The grill is cranking. I've got it preheating at top speed, or the highest it can go. I like to have my grill really, really hot, especially when I put some meat on it. Okay, so today here we have our chicken legs. Oh, almost lost that one. We have our chicken legs. They're nice and juicy right now. So what we want to do is kind of dry them off a little bit. The drier that you get them, the better that skin is going to crisp up. So just kind of dry them up and make sure the skin is kind of like in order and flat across everything. Okay. A lot of times when you dry your meat, like if you're cooking a piece of fish or something and you want to get a little crust on it, it's nice to leave it out in the air or in the fridge without any saran wrap on it, because that saran wrap is going to hold the moisture. But if you want a crispy edge, you really need it to be nice and dry. So here we go. Get that skin over there. A lot of people like to use different kind of marinades and things like that. I take it pretty simple. So all we're gonna do right now is cover every piece of chicken with a ton of salt and pepper. And this is a step that I want you to be careful in. With every time that you're doing meat, make sure you're covering that piece of chicken really nicely, because every bite counts. So why not make sure every bite has some nice seasoning? Like I said, my grill is cranking at 400. I am going to put the chicken right on the grill. A lot of folks like to oil their grill up. I just like to have a really hot grill. If you did want to put a little oil on your grill, then you should probably put a vegetable oil, something that can withstand a high heat. And be real careful, because you want to have that oil on your grill when it's hot. So one of my friends was just telling me a little trick that they do when they're oiling their hot grill, is they put a little bit of olive oil in a bowl, and then they cut an onion in half and stick a big fork in half the onion, put that onion in the olive oil, and then rub it all over their grill. I find like it's an unnecessary step, especially when you have something fatty like this chicken with the chicken skin on it, because what's gonna happen is that fat is gonna kind of lube up the grill a little, and you don't wanna be flipping things on your grill when they're not ready. So you want it to be hot enough that it's gonna flip nicely. This is gonna take a little bit of time. We're gonna keep the grill at a very high heat, and we're gonna shut it down, and then just about every 5 minutes or so, you're gonna flip your chicken over. That's gonna make it cook evenly. What happens when you're cooking with meat with the bone in? It's gonna take a little bit longer to cook versus just a chicken breast or a boneless chicken thigh or something like that. And you're gonna have to start rotating it so that it gets cooked evenly around. So when you're cooking something with the bone in, always make sure you have a lot of space in between your items so that the heat goes up and around everything. Keep it at a nice high heat. We want it like right around 400 degrees or so. A lot of these grill temperatures don't work, so just know you want it hot. And you're gonna stand here for 30, 35 minutes. That's about as long as it's gonna take to cook these to perfection, which is 185. Then that's gonna take us a little bit of time. You'll be able to tell if it's too hot, maybe some of the fat's starting to burn, or you see little fires starting on your chicken, then turn it down a little bit. But basically, keep it cranked pretty much to the top, unless you have one of those super fancy grills. Then think about 400, because if you have a super fancy grill, then that thing works. So keep it at about 400. Every 5 minutes or so, we're gonna flip it. So what we're gonna do now is just kind of chill right here and show you as we start to flip things. But for what you should do, cover it up, keep it closed, don't keep it open, keep it closed, keep your lid closed, and then every 5 minutes you start to turn that. So we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes and show you the next step, and then we'll kind of keep going every 10 minutes so you can see what ours looks like, but you can do it on your own time too. Okay, so this is gonna be our first flip, and actually I over-exaggerated the 5 minutes at first because I went and washed some dishes. So this is about 7 minutes or so. See how nice it comes off the grill? That's what you want. So that's starting to burn a little right there, so maybe I should have been back in 5 minutes, but that also means this is the hot spot. So we're gonna kind of rotate these things around so that they're all getting nice and warm. All right, about 5 minutes, that was about 7 minutes or so. Come back in 5, flip it over again. And what we're gonna do is flip it for 4 more times, so we'll be very close to the end next time I see you. We'll be right back. Okay, here we are. Been standing by the grill for about 35 minutes or so. Your chicken drumsticks should be cooked. You should have flipped them maybe 5 or 6 times. Again, don't get overzealous with the flipping. It's like some people are over stirrers when they're cooking veggies on the stovetop, and that ruins it. You want to get that sear. You want to let things sit for a little while and then flip them. We're flipping them so often because they have a bone in them, and they're going to take a little bit longer to cook for that reason. I have checked them already. They're at 185. Everything's getting nice and crispy, just like what we wanted with that skin. And I think it's time just to pull them off. So I'm just gonna pull all the chicken off. We're gonna make these buffalo style, and we're gonna make a nice fresh summer salad to go with them. So why don't you let everything burn off of your grill for a hot sec. Ha ha, really, literally for a hot sec. Let it burn off a little bit. We'll get these tossed with some buffalo sauce, and we'll get that nice fresh summer salad made so that we can have a really healthy meal.
That has made me hungry first thing this morning. She does such a good job of making it look so easy to get out there and start cooking. Now, I love a fresh salad, and so we're gonna continue doing some cooking with Tracy Miller just in a little bit later on in the show. That way you can make this delicious salad at home and you can kick off your summer the right way, which is to start barbecuing already, and especially because we're gonna start to see that beautiful sunshine here shortly. We're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more Wasatch Weekends, so stay tuned. Are you looking to add a little more fun to your life? Well, the Nuzzles and Co has the perfect way to do so, and I've got Josh and UFO joining me this morning. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us. He's got a case of the wiggles all of a sudden.
I was just gonna say, you've got a very happy pup there with you.
We do have a happy pup. He's, as you said, his name is UFO. He's 21 weeks old. He came from Kayenta, so the Navajo Nation. He's been with us just a short time and just barely coming up for adoption. He's super, super cute and super friendly, so we think he's gonna be adopted pretty quick, but we love showing off these really sweet and cute guys.
Look at that, like he almost has a heart over his eyeball. It is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
He's a handsome looking guy.
He
Look
is
at
a
that.
handsome
Can you say
looking.
hello?
Oh, look at that
Uh-huh.
face. I'm smitten already. This is
What
the
is
only
this?
problem
What is
with interviewing you is then I become so smitten over all of the dogs that you bring because they're all so cute. Hi. Look over here. Hi. He's like, I'm too wiggly. Oh, we almost had it.
Vividly today.
And so he's already got his microchip, his shots, and he's been neutered.
Correct. So we don't put any dog up for
Hi.
adoption until they've had all that stuff done. So he's been looked at by the vet. They've declared him safe and healthy, and now you've got his attention.
I know. Well, I had it for
Oh,
a
thanks.
second, and then he started hearing your voice. Hi, look at you. You're very handsome. Did you know that? He's like, yeah, I do know that. And now I've got kisses to give. And obviously, he's very affectionate, very playful. And so he's going to be good for someone who's very athletic, it seems like.
Yeah, I think he could make a good family dog too, because he's just like a happy guy and really friendly and has shown just nothing but all the positive signs we're looking for a good friendly puppy here. So yeah, I think he'd be a good fit for somebody. I mean, probably the only fit he wouldn't be good for is someone looking for a really mellow dog.
Right. He's got some energy there.
Oh.
And those ears, they kill me as they like stand up and fold over.
And he's young enough too. Like if you have other animals, he'll probably acclimate to that really quite easily. He'll obviously need a little bit of obedience training because he's just a young guy who's been living on the res, so he doesn't have any of that yet. But it's a good time to talk about like puppy stuff. A lot of people don't realize they think a puppy's so cute and they want to open up their home to a puppy, but a puppy is a big commitment, and these guys require a lot of attention, and they need to go to the bathroom every couple of hours. They need attention. So if you work a 10-hour day, a puppy's probably not a good fit for you, and if you're not home for that period of time.
Especially a puppy with that much energy. Look how much he just wants to be on your lap and play with you right now.
Right. And the beauty of the modern world, though, is so many people get to work from home. I think that opens up so many people who maybe in the past weren't available to do something like have a puppy. They are now, which is pretty cool.
I just am like a little bit curious as to what's going through his brain right now as he's like biting the toy and flipping and kissing your face and then biting the toy again and looking around everywhere. He is clearly very happy that you guys have saved him, and he's clearly going to make some home or some house feel like a home because he is going to bring such a warming and calming energy. Now, what's the adoption process like for someone who does want to adopt a puppy?
So we ask you some questions. We do a little bit of an interview kind of a he might need to run around again. Well, what is that? What is that?
Oh,
You
look at
see
his
some
face.
toys? So, I mean, we have an application, but really I turn it into a little bit, our adoption specialist turn it into a little bit of an interview where we just kind of talk to about like what your needs are and what you're looking for and what your living situation is. Sorry, this is a lot. And just kind of make sure that you guys are a good fit. We want to find out a couple of things, like if you're getting a dog that might bark for a little while, like we certainly want to know that you're not going to cut its vocal cords or do anything extreme like that. That would be a red flag for adoption, but we like to keep the barriers at a minimum and get animals into loving homes. So really, it is kind of a little bit of a conversation and an application. Once that's approved, we do a contract, and the adoption happens. And then for puppies under 6 months, it's 375. And as we've discussed, that includes the spay neuter microchip, all the shots up to that point. Oh, look at you!
Oh, he's
We
so
just
happy.
gives
Look
you
at
a
that
little.
smile as he's like ear to ear smiling, just getting all the love.
He's like, I just needed that scratch. I needed some loves. But yeah, I
Seriously.
mean, as you can see, a puppy is a lot of work. Like even just trying to sit him still for a little bit of an interview. He's been running around the office. He's been having a great time. He's had some treats and toys. But this makes makes it challenging to kind of try to get some other things done.
Right. And so if someone is looking to adopt a puppy and maybe they're not sure that they're fully ready for that commitment, is fostering to adopt an option that you guys offer?
It's not only something we offer, if you have pets of your own already, it's something I'd recommend. That way you can make sure that the dog is a good fit for the other animals in your home. Um, we don't want anybody having a nervous breakdown after they bring somebody home. But I mean, there's an adjustment period. I liken it to if I took you and I put you in a strange home with strange other people and smells and creatures. It takes a minute for you to kind of acclimate to that and get used to it. So same thing for a dog. You're taking them out of a situation where they're remotely like they're comfortable with the sights and smells and things going on here at the ranch, and then they end up in a new home. So I recommend when you do a foster to adopt, give it a couple of days. Like I mean, if you have another animal that's super reactive, then maybe it's not a good fit. But for the animal's sake, like give it a few days to kind of get used to you and figure out if it is the right thing.
And especially when you're bringing home a puppy that has that much energy, but it's so hard not to fall in love immediately. Like I'm in love just seeing him through the camera right now. If people are interested in taking the time to get to know UFO, meet him, and maybe introduce them to their dogs at home, what's the best way for them to get in contact and spend some time with UFO?
So you can email us at adopt@nuzzlesandco.org for any more information or to set up a meet and greet. Our adoption center and our ranch are open from 12 to 6 every day. And you can give us a ring just to find out at either location to find out where he is for the day. We do like to take a van full of puppies and other dogs to the adoption center just so it's a little bit less far for most people to travel. The ranch is a little bit out of the way for most people. And the last mile and a half of the ranch is a dirt road, so not everybody likes to take that last little step to travel that far. But I mean, when you're looking for a new animal, it's more of an adventure actually to come to the ranch. So I recommend, give us a ring, find out where the animal's at, and then we can set up a meet and greet.
And you guys really focus on saving these res dogs. So a lot of kind of mixes that you don't exactly know the breeds, but they're also well behaved, as you know, because you have a couple of your own.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about this before. One of the most common questions we get is how big is this dog going to be and what breed do you think it is? And the reality is we just don't know. Unless we get mom, and in this case we didn't get mom with this puppy. So we don't even know how big one of the parents will be. So the answer is like a lot of the res dogs from the area that he comes from. I see them between 40 and 60 pounds. Oh, that's such a good kiss. Thank you. Can we put you on the ground so you can run around? Ah, we'll be free. We'll be free. There you go. Um, yeah, so UFO, we're not sure exactly how big he's going to be. We don't know what kind of breed. A lot of the dogs that we see, the locals down there have working dogs, and if they get pregnant by another dog, it's probably a working dog breed with that dog.
Josh, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, give us all this information, introducing us to UFO and his cute little heart eye, and for all the hard work you do to save the dogs. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. And that was a little bit chaotic, and I might have talked a little faster today, but I had a puppy going nuts in my lap.
I loved every second of it only because I love getting to watch you with all of these puppies. It makes me like want another one. It gives me like puppy fever.
I know somebody who can make that happen for you.
Okay, perfect. Give me their number. I'll get right on it. Josh, thank you again so much for taking the time to chat with us.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us today.
Make sure that you check out Nuzzles and Co, and that way you can bring home your forever furry friend, because they do such a good job not only with dogs, but they have cats and pigs as well. So if you're looking to expand your family in any way possible, they're your one-stop place to go and enjoy all of these beautiful creatures. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Are you struggling to hire people at your wonderful job? Well, then we've got just the man for you, and that's Bill Humbert, and he is a talent attraction consultant. Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Maddie, it's so great to be back here and chatting with you, so thank you.
I love having you here only because I feel like you're a wealth of knowledge for us to gain so much wonderful information, not only to find a new job, but also to find those new employees.
Thank you. Yes, it's really important, both of those topics.
And so what's the most important step when you are looking to bring in that talent attraction?
It's what I call the lowly job description. The job description is the second step, as you can see, in the talent attraction process. And therefore, it's the foundation of everything that's happening. If you don't do a good job with your job description, what happens? You find the wrong people. So a well-defined job description is one that is very specific on what it is that you're looking for. And there's been times where I've read job descriptions. I've been doing this 40 plus years. There's been times when I've read job descriptions and I went, what's this person gonna do?
I mean, that is something that happens pretty frequently when you read a job description and there's 9 million different aspects and you're like, how am I supposed to juggle this as one job? And so why is it so important, and what is so important to go into the job descriptions?
So it's so important so you find the right person, and it is what a job description should contain minimally is what are the day-to-day responsibilities for the position, what are the weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual responsibilities. So think of sales, think of accounting, and you'll kind of get a sense for those kinds of things. And then, when you have a person who might be a higher level position like a manager, what are the strategic responsibilities? And they could be planning, budgeting, headcount, those types of things.
That way someone really knows if they're qualified and if they're comfortable with all of the things that they could be potentially doing in this role. Now, is there any other additional information that you recommend that jobs put in their descriptions?
I always recommend to my clients that they add the three-month goals for that position, 3 6-month goals for that position, 3 9-month goals for that position, and 3 12-month goals for that position. And you know what's really cool? This is a secret just between us. Candidates love to see that. And the reason they love to see it is because now they know what that year is going to look like.
They can really prepare themselves mentally as they're applying for this job to know exactly what to expect as they're stepping into this role and what is expected of them. Now, what are some of the benefits of adding the goals to your job description?
Well, one of the really important benefits is, according to Gallup's State of the American Workplace, only 36% of all professionals are engaged in their jobs. So would companies like to include or to increase their engagement or employee engagement? I'm suspecting the answer is yes. So remember, a goal setting and goal achieving employee is by definition an engaged employee. So you've laid this out, and so now you'll have an employee who's engaged.
And why do you think it's so important that companies engage with their employees right off the bat instead of waiting for that engagement to come after they receive the job?
Well, if they don't engage with them right away, they've lost it. They've lost that engagement. And what happens then is you end up with people who are not engaged, number one, and number two, who end up saying, you know what, I'm really not interested in working here, and they'll have a short tenure.
And I've never really seen or heard of any company adding these goals to their job descriptions. Do you know of some of the companies that have done that?
I can tell you one specifically that I worked for. I went to work for McLeod USA in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and the leaders, the founder and CEO, Clark McLeod, and Steve Gray, the president, required all of us, every single employee, including themselves, to create 100-day goals and submit those to our manager. And so those were something that were easy, not easy goals necessarily, but they were easy to measure if a person was successful or engaged. And one of the reasons they did that was the company was a pre-IPO company, so it was not yet public. And their goal when I started was to become a public company in 18 months. And using those 100-day goals, we missed it by a little bit. We went public in 19 months. But clients of mine, some of them are actually doing that and finding success with it.
I feel like it's such a great way just to have more open communication. And I feel like the job market is so difficult now because people have such a wide array of choices, whether they want to work in the office, whether they want to work from home. And so that's something that employers should be looking out for. Now, you offer a wide range of services, so let's talk a little bit about what people can expect from you.
Well, my business is RecruiterGuy.com, and it's the Google and Bing #1 ranked talent attraction consultant. And I speak on talent attraction and career search, and actually have 3 speaking engagements set up, from one in May, June, and July. And I'm speaking on talent attraction topics for that one. But I provide talent attraction consulting for companies nationwide. And they, almost everybody needs to improve their recruiting effort. And I sometimes think, so many companies, so little time. So that's one area. Additionally, I'm an author, and I I write on talent attraction. And this is my book, my 3rd book, Expect Success, The Science of the Over 50 Career Search. And what's exciting about that book for me personally is that it received a 5-star review from Joe Wasinski at Reader's Favorite job book reviews and award contest. And, my college professors are both in heaven now, and they're up there going, Humbert got a 5-star review? What? So, I'm really proud of my book, and it's helping people already. And if you take my book and you saw down there at lower right corner, you saw a QR code, and those QR codes are spread throughout the entire book to give you more information about those topics. And that one is the one on the cover is a TV interview that I had with Park City TV about that book. And sometimes as a result of coaching candidates to find new positions, I've been referred to as the candidate whisperer. And it's fun for me because I work both sides of the desk. I'm one of the very rare people who have 40 plus years of recruiting experience and 26 plus years of career coaching experience. And so I know what both sides of the desk are thinking.
And if someone is looking to be a career seeker and they need some guidance, maybe some help, where can you help them throughout their career seeking adventure?
It can be a seeking adventure for sure. Well, one of the things that they can do is they can contact me. So if they go to RecruiterGuy.com and click on Speak with Bill, they can put themselves on my calendar, and I'd be happy to have a half-hour conversation with them. And, they may decide that they're happy with just looking at reading my book and following that, or they may ask for some coaching.
Bill, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, giving me all of these great tips and tricks, and really giving everyone some free advice on how they can better seek talent.
Thank you, Maddie. It's so great to be here. I love being here. And next time we speak, we'll be talking about career searching.
Which is perfect because I know that there's a lot of people looking to change their careers. So we want to thank you again for all of the hard work that you've done to get to the point that you are and sharing all of your wisdom with us.
Thank you, Maddie. See you next time.
Make sure that you check out the Recruiter Guy, whether you are looking for a talent attraction consultant or whether you're a career seeker and you just need some advice on seeking that new career. Bill is the guy to have advice from. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. Welcome back to your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. Now, a great way to get out there and soak up that sunshine is to be grilling. Now, we did some grilling earlier in the show to make our chicken wings absolutely perfect out on the grill with Tracy Miller from Colorful Cooking. But now she's going to teach us how to make this delicious salad. And there's no better way to beat the hot summer days than a nice crispy salad. And so I love getting to learn, and I love learning how to make my own dressings too. So let's check out what she's got cooking in the kitchen.
All right, I'm just coarsely chopping up the celery and the carrots. And every time you order buffalo chicken wings, what do you get with it? Celery and carrots. So I thought, hey, why not enjoy those with our salad today? Plus, I'm a huge carrot fan, and they are so delicious and in season right now. I love celery as well, but celery happens to be one of the dirty dozen. Do you know what that is? That is 12 different veggies that you should really buy organic, because what happens is celery has a lot of water in it, so any of the nutrients that are going into the soil, they're going into your celery as well. Things with like a thick skin, like an avocado or a banana, you can typically buy those conventional if you want, but the thin-skinned veggies, fruits, you really want to buy those organic, and celery happens to be one of them. Okay, so I have celery and cucumber, and I actually have a conventional cucumber, so I did peel it, because when you get the English cucumbers and they come in the plastic, those are pretty nice and their peel isn't that bitter, so you can enjoy those, but the conventional ones, you just kind of want to peel because they do put like a waxy film on that. Okay, so we have our veggies all chopped up. We have our romaine, and then we have our chicken. In order to make this buffalo, and I'm going to tell you what, I have tried to make my own hot sauces millions of times, and I love a buffalo chicken salad. I actually love chicken wings as well. Try not to eat them that much because they are higher in fat, especially since we kept the skin on. But what I try to do is just try to make it as healthy as possible. That's why we're siding it with a salad, and we're using the bigger chicken legs too, so you're gonna get more meat under there, and that's gonna be a dark meat, so it's gonna have more flavor, it's gonna have more fat. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is take a bowl and get your Frank's Red Hot. I'll tell you what, like I said, I've tried many different hot sauces, and I have tried to make my own, and this one really, it's a favorite. It's a favorite of mine, and it's easy, and sometimes you just have to take those easy steps. You're definitely gonna get like a little more sodium and preservatives in something like this, but it lasts, so you can keep this in your cabinet and use it for other things, and it has a really, really nice flavor. So what we do now is we coat those in the bowl, and just make sure you're covering them. If I had another set of gloves, I would probably just use my hands for this, but I feel like they're kind of far away, so I'm not gonna go get them. Okay, so we're gonna let those sit right there for a minute and get our salad going. I'm gonna put the salad right on the plate that I had the chicken on, because first of all, if there were some nice flavors, like some juices on there, that would make everything taste really, really good. This lettuce looks awesome. I'm just gonna cut off the bottom. I don't wash my lettuce, I just make sure it's not dirty and wipe it off with a paper towel. Because going back to earlier when we started this class and I told you, hey, you don't want wet lettuce. I mean, if you're gonna take the time to wring it out in one of those salad wringers, definitely do that. But otherwise, you can just get most of the dirt off this way. And if you feel worried that you're gonna have any kind of contaminants on it or anything like that, wash it off and then dry it off with a paper towel. And that's a nice, easy thing to do with romaine, because it's got, you know, the boats where you can just kind of get right in there. Okay, another thing I like to do is chop my lettuce, because I don't like to rip it, because it kind of starts to bruise it, and you don't want bruised lettuce on your salad. Romaine is so healthy and so good for you. I love it. It's just crispy and delicious. So here we go. We've got that, and we've got all our nice veggies, and I'm just gonna put on top. I mean, this is gonna be a filling meal, and it's going to be pretty light and super healthy as well. I read one time, carrots happen to be one of my favorite foods no matter what, always have been, but I read one time, nobody ever got fat from eating a carrot stick. So pile it up with those carrot sticks, because they're going to be nice and delicious and good for you. I'm just going to chop a little bit of green onion right now. And you can use the whites and the greens depending on how much you want. This is nice because these spring onions are so good during the spring, and they're so good all through the summer. Actually, I use these quite a bit even in the winter, because they're just a little more mild than some other onions are. Okay, so we're gonna put those on the top at the end, but right now we are gonna make our salad dressing. And what I noticed is that I didn't bring a jar. A lot of times I like to make a salad dressing with a jar. So I'm here in the studio, and we have a nice wine glass and a plastic fork, so we are going to work with what we have here. Here is how you make salad dressing. Basically, you start with some olive oil. So I'm going to put in 1 part olive oil. And then you have an olive oil and something acidic. So we're going to use about a half a part, and all these measurements are in your recipe book, of white wine vinegar. We are going to use ample salt and pepper, because this is what's giving us its flavor, although I'm going to sprinkle a little on the salad. And then we are going to use a bunch of blue cheese. We can sprinkle a little bit of the blue cheese right here on the salad as well. You could use feta if you wanted to too. So finish that up right there, and then just stir it up really nicely. Seriously, it's that simple, my friends. That is our blue cheese vinaigrette. Look how delicious it looks. Okay, so we've got that nice and kind of stirred up. You can put it in your blender too if you really like your blue cheese chunks to be kind of not so chunky. Okay, so now we have our salad. I'm gonna bring it right up here nice and close. I feel like I'm having a glass of wine with my summer salad. I kind of wish I was doing that. All right. Let's get our chicken and make sure it's nice and covered with that Frank sauce. And we're going to put just a couple pieces right here on top. Get one of those So it's gonna be a messy one. If you're taking this on a picnic or out onto your patio, make sure you have a lot of paper towels. Now I'm gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of green onion. I don't know why, I just feel like I always have to have green onion on my chicken legs. Don't forget, those are at 185 for temperature. We've got our really light sauce, and we're just gonna pour that right on top. So like I said, this can be enjoyed when it's nice and when it's warm outside and you want to have things at room temperature. You can always bring this for a picnic. Just make sure you put your chicken in a cooler and keep it cool and don't let it get to a weird temperature. But you can really enjoy it when it's at a room temperature. So if you did want to take this on a picnic, it would be a nice healthy meal for you. That chicken skin is not going to be the healthiest part, of course, but the meat in there is going to give you a lot of protein, and the salad is plentiful and fresh. And this is what we made today. I hope you got some good grilling tips. Grilling with a bone, you just have to keep on flipping it, keep flipping it. You can also bake your chicken thighs if you want to, or your chicken legs if you want to. You would just put them in the oven at 400 degrees. And again, you'd be flipping them and rotating them every 5 to 7 minutes or so.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
We have such a rich artist community here in Park City, and it's amazing to really enjoy all of the beautiful things that get to come, whether it's Sundance, who just announced their new dates for the upcoming year of the Sundance Film Festival, or whether it's local artists that you can get their work brought to your house, and then that way you can enjoy it. Well, we're going to highlight a local artist right now named Bill Mack, who is a fabulous sculptor. So if you're looking for a new piece of art to make your house a home, well, then he might be the guy for you. Let's take a look.
My name is Bill Mack, and I'm a sculptor and a painter. I do both. I've got a technique that's called relief and relief sculpture. I'm dropping the word sculpture. Relief is dimensional art on the wall, on the walls. It exists all over the world. You'll see it throughout Europe and major buildings. The carved reliefs of people coming out of the granite walls. You'll find it in Salt Lake City. But until I came along in the 80s and developed materials that had that monumental look to them and yet were light enough in weight to hang on your wall, relief didn't really exist in galleries. Since the 80s, I've been in galleries showing all over the world. I consider it a third art form rather than even a technique or a style. And to this day, there aren't other relief artists that I know of. No one that's ever done as much work as me, and no one that has ever done as comprehensive a collection of relief. Since I was a kid, I've been able to render, and that means, two-dimensional work, draw, paint. When I got involved with relief, that just dominated everything that I did. However, I always do a study. It can be something naive, like just a quick sketch, or something I might do, if it's a female, might use a live model and do a real comprehensive oil painting. Probably would have stayed out of that business because there's so many people doing it, and I'd just be another one until along comes this opportunity to buy the Hollywood sign. And that's a lot to, anybody who's watching this, a lot to swallow, but hardly anyone knows that the original Hollywood sign that was raised in 1923, And it was taken down in 1978. Seamlessly, a new Hollywood sign was put up. So the metal from the original Hollywood sign, I ended up purchasing that. And that metal is the metal that Marilyn Monroe saw and James Dean saw and all those great movie stars, because they all passed away. Most of them passed away prior to 1978. So it's, to me, it's the beginning of Hollywood, and the metal has almost got a spirit. When you touch it, you can just feel all that history. And the idea when it was offered to me was that I would paint iconic images on the metal, using the metal as canvas. And so they sent me a sample of it, and it's a flat, it's got plenty of white paint on it, it's just like gesso, and it's basically barn tin. And I'm still thinking dimensionally, but I really wanted to own the sign, so I realized in order to do that, I would have to paint on it. So I've been doing just what they proposed. I've been painting iconic images on the metal for the original Hollywood sign. And the connection between the image and the metal, I think, is magnificent, because it maybe animates the image, pumps blood through that image, because you know that when they're young actors, the first thing they did, they ran up to the Hollywood sign and they touched the Hollywood sign for that magic to launch their careers. And now if someone wants to touch a Hollywood sign, they got to come to Kobe's gallery right here, or you can come see me, because you can't go up to the Hollywood sign anymore, and the only one Hollywood sign you can touch anymore is this sign. Kobe's done an extraordinary thing here in Park City, and any visitor should take the opportunity and come visit all of his galleries. If you're a collector and you're in this city and you don't come visit his galleries, you're making a mistake.
We want to thank you so much for tuning into your first ever hour-long Wasatch Weekends for your Saturday show. We love this expansion only because we love to be involved in the community. We have so many wonderful community members and so many fun and exciting activities that are always taking place. So make sure that you continue to tune in all weekend long. We'll be back with another Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I hope that you get out there, you enjoy your Saturday, May 13th, because it is going to be a beautiful day here in our wonderful community. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and I will see you tomorrow.